I'm at the yard of Tara LAING chatting to Gavin Fenter about the runners that will step out on Friday. First up for the yard will be a double of runners in race 4, where we will see Global Scene and Hat Montera. Now, Global Scene, her last was not a run to judge on. Gav, she was never in the race at any stage.
Yeah, Nadine, first of all, we wanted to run in a maiden fillies and mares, 1200 or 1000 on the grass, and there was nothing. So the only race we could run in was a handicap against other winners. But it was just a gallop, and we told Chase, look, it's way too short, it's just a gallop, it's to bring her on. And yeah, so forget about that run, don't look into it at all. She needs to go 1400. And then we picked this race, it was this 1400, and there's one at the end of the month. But, you know, she had the draw, so we had to take her chances. Yes, she's got to have a good chance here. She's got to beat Alan's horse, the favourite. She's got a little bit of form, and the rest of the field are not very strong. So if she doesn't need the second run after a layoff, she's a big runner.
She'll be joined by Hat Montera, who steps out for the third time in her career, and I think she's really going to enjoy being up to 1400.
Yeah, the sprints were way too short for her. We're putting her a little bit further, and it's not the strongest of the fields, as I said, barring Global Scene and Alan's horseshoe's favourite. So she could run into the money.
In race 5, another 2 runners. We're going to start here with Gardener's Pride, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy being back on turf.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's much better on the turf. We had 2 races to pick from. There was this race where, in fact, we're going to run him next week. Also in the 2000, how we had 2000s 2 weeks in a row, I'm scratching my head, but anyway. Then this field cut up, and it cut up so much that I thought, okay, now we're going to run him now and we'll scratch him next week. So, yeah, he's going to be better on the grass. This race is weaker. Kelly had a horse in the in next week's weights. I can't think of the top of my head who the horse is, but he's going to be a hard horse to beat if he runs. So we opted him to run him. Yeah, it's a lot weaker field. Alan's horse is probably the horse to beat. But yes, I think he's going to run a good race.
Alongside him will be Bell's First Wave. Now, he can also show improvement back to a track and trip he enjoys.
Yes, also, although he won on the poly, he wasn't enjoying it. And this is a perfect race for him. This is a handicap. Next week's race he was also in was a classified stakes. He wasn't that well weighted. So this race he's perfectly weighted. He's got the right weight, the right distance. Everything's in his favour. I would include him in all exotics.
Arrivederci steps out in race 7. Now, he's been showing some fantastic finishes of recent on the poly.
Yeah, you know, when he arrived here, his best runs in the tail were on the grass and not on the poly. So we opted to keep him on the grass. And yet, when we moved to the poly for 2 months, his best runs were on the poly. So I'm scratching my head a little bit because he's shown that he's actually better on the poly. Yeah. And maybe because of the surface, you know, he has got back issues, and the poly surface is much better to run on. So, yeah, we on the grass. We have to now run him on the grass if we get chances. We work tirelessly on his back, and he has improved dramatically. So, yes, I think this time he'll probably run a better race on the grass.
And finishing for the yard in race 8 will be Chronicles of Narnia. Now, Gav, this is the perfect race for her.
Yeah, as we were talking about it before this, I would have liked to in a fillies and mares race, low division, but we nominated in a fillies and mares race. She drew 27. We nominated in an open handicap against Colts and this classified stakes. And I looked at the races, and getting the 3 or 2.5 kilo allowance, this is the much better race for her. Yes, it's not against fillies, but she's perfectly weighted. She's well weighted in this type of race. She's back on the grass, and we're expecting her to run a good race.
Got the draw, right distance. I think Chronicles of Narnia can run a decent race to close for the yard in race 8.